Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Nic Cage Fight podcast, where, much like the protagonist of the film we're here to discuss today, no matter how much we want to get away from it, we keep finding ourselves circling right back to the same spot, telling you all exactly what happens in every Nic Cage movie. I'm one of your hosts, Josh, joined as always, for the first time in a couple of episodes, back again, Rich and Ryan. So how does it feel to be back, boys?
I'm so mad I had to watch The Croods and then I wasn't on that episode.
That's the only reason I agreed to record it without you. The fact that you had already watched it.
It was real hard coming back after the seance, I'm going to say. It was very difficult finding my way through the color.
I mean, yeah, you had to find yourself a mirror that was made out of silver to transubstantiate through.
But the plus side is we get to watch the Isle of Dr. Moreau now, so.
Yeah, how'd you trick all those teenagers into covering that mirror in blood?
Oh, it actually wasn't that hard.
Promised them pussy.
Well, there was that, and I just told them they were fat, and they just cut themselves immediately. It's high schoolers are soft, man.
Was one of them Weston Cage?
Yeah, but only with the emo cut in fucking 211.
Yeah. So speaking of fucking Cage family members, I just found out that Cage's brother is a shock jock in New York, and he goes by the name Mark the Cope Coppola.
What?
I am looking this up immediately. Mark the Cope, like he's got copium.
Yes, like he's huffing that copium.
I'm sorry if he hasn't done it yet. I kind of now want to blow up Murder Brian's email and have him cover this guy for his Shocktober Shock Jock review.
He was in Apocalypse Now, though.
Yeah.
He's been in a few Nic Cage movies. He's been
a Nepo baby. Yeah, he was in Cotton Club,
Vampire's Kiss, Living Las Vegas. He was in
Who
Sunny.
The fuck was
apparently.
he in Vampire's Kiss?
He's just some guy. He's like a joke
Some
guy.
guy.
Oh, he's the guy telling the bad
guy.
joke in the bar.
Oh shit!
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, the welcome back got way off the rails on me.
Yeah.
We're here.
I mean, I had information that I needed to disseminate.
Yeah, no, that was a lot. That was, completely threw me off my rhythm. But we're here to talk about Red Rock West, which was a 1993 released film, rated R, clocking in at a smooth hour and 38 minutes. And I got to admit, this was the week for me, sticking to our favorite runtime, because I had to jam this in between like multiple doctor's visits and dental trips and a full week of work. It's like, I don't know how I'm going to make this work. And then I saw the hour and 38 minutes. I was like, I can manage. Yeah, it is. It was an enjoyable film. We're going to get into it. Not what I expected.
All right, I don't care what just happened. I just put a weird worm out of my hair, and I think I'm dying now. I think I'm dying. I think I'm decaying.
I'm sorry, a weird worm? Did you get a picture of this warlock?
No, I immediately. It was like it wasn't big. It was maybe.
It's a corpse worm from when he died 2 weeks ago.
I think it is. I think it's a corpse worm. But now I think I'm re-dying, and I'm like feeling my hair now. I'm sorry. I had to let the listeners know that like I might be dead.
Yeah, no, that is legitimately horrifying.
I mean, I did just take the dogs out, and we are in like the middle of the woods in South Jersey, and like,
oh, you got a fucking silkworm in your hair.
Yeah, more than
those little inch boys.
Yeah.
They're hard.
No, death bug. It's a death bug.
yeah. You're definitely infested with insects right now.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm sure you're fine.
Well, I mean, like Buffalo Bill's using you as an incubator for those weird moths.
Shit, well, not again.
Literally the death's head moths.
Yeah.
So, let's get into housekeeping on this one.
Yeah,
it's kind of an interesting run here. There is like 4 primary characters, and everybody else is kind of just like thrown in there. But starting off with the director, we have John Dahl, who has directed Rounders, which is how I knew Rich would probably enjoy this because he loves Rounders.
Sure do.
Kill Me Again, The Last Seduction, and then numerous couple offs or one-off TV show episodes. We've got some Yellowstone, we got some Ray Donovan, some The Good Doctor, because every time it pops up now I gotta fucking mention that. and the lowest rated Marvel Universe show, I think even before Disney took it back over, Iron Fist.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Also, some
he
True
also
Blood.
he
And
did
like,
he
yeah,
did
you
10
probably
episodes of
got it. Yeah,
Californication
that's what I
too.
was about to bring up too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wonder if he did the nun blowjob scene.
We can find out, actually.
Well, yeah, it's the first
It's the first
episode.
episode. Yeah.
And so, so there you go. John Dahl, director. And then the writers, we have John Dahl and Rick Dahl. I'm
He did
assuming they're
not.
related.
He did not do the nun blowjob scene.
Ah, damn it.
As far as writing credits, John Dahl has very few. He has this, Kill Me Again, and PI, Private Investigations. Rick Dahl, similarly, only has two other writing credits, The Midnight Game and Fear Itself, which I've been told is the only thing you should actually fear.
And before we get off the production crew, I do want to shout out the cinematographer, Mark Reshovsky, I believe is how that's pronounced, just because he directed the music video for Smooth by Santana feat. Rob Thomas.
That is a good one. That was one of those radio earworms where I was like, this is actually a good song.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I was kind of excited for tomorrow, the new Fincher film coming out.
The like Hitman one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks
Michael Fassbender. I like Michael Fassbender. I like some of Fincher's shit. And I was going through his CV, and he has a shit ton of music stuff in there.
Oh yeah, that's how he got started, I thought.
I did not realize. I was not aware of that. All right, so moving on to cast, we have the man of the hour every hour, Nic Cage as Michael. I switched between calling him Michael and Mike in my notes based on what name I would use for him in the scene that he's actively playing in, which is a game I invented for my notes specifically in this movie. Some scenes he comes off as a Mike, others as a Michael. Next up, we have Dennis Hopper as Lyle. Dennis Hopper, you might know from a number of movies, including Easy Rider, Blue Velvet, Speed, Waterworld, Knockaround Guys, and probably the one that you remember him most from, the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, I definitely remember him from Blue Velvet the most.
No, Super Mario Brothers movie.
He's got the air tank, and he just keeps huffing it and saying that baby wants to fuck. Yeah, I know he was Koopa, but he wasn't Frank Booth in the Super Mario Brothers movie. He was also in one of the last George Romero zombie movies, Land of the Dead. He plays like the God King of the walled city, and I think John Leguizamo kills him, or no, John Leguizamo is responsible for him being in the situation where the zombie with a gun shoots him.
Much like how John Leguizamo helped banish him in
the Super Mario Brothers movie. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for teeing me up for that one.
He's also in my favorite Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the second one, where he goes into a hardware store and he's just trying out all the chainsaws, and it ends with a big chainsaw fight with him and Leatherhead at the end.
Is that the one with Matthew McConaughey in it?
No, that's 3. That's the new generation.
Got it.
Yeah.
Fucking Texas Chainsaw lore.
Yeah, man.
That
was the one that ran on fucking Skinamax because it's basically softcore porn.
Yeah.
Right. And the second one was more of a comedy too, right?
Yeah. It's got Bill Paxton as Chop Top, who's just like obsessed with fucking Flower Power 60s music.
I love me some Paxton.
Yeah.
So next up, we have Lara Flynn Boyle, which I think we're going to have to explain her a little bit to the younger audience. There was a period of time in the 90s where Lara Flynn Boyle was the height of sexual star power. It was a brief period of time, but I remember it very vividly. And she plays Suzanne in this. Lara Flynn Boyle, of course, was in Twin Peaks. Getting that out of the way.
Yeah, you got it. Otherwise, I'd have to.
I know. She was also in Wayne's World, which we were discussing before we started the episode. And she was also in Men in Black 2. So that's setting the time frame again when she was a bit of a force.
Wait, wasn't
in
she
Hollywood.
in a show and won like all the fucking Emmys? Which show? Was she
Twin
in?
Peaks.
Yeah. No, she was in a couple of things.
I'm thinking of The Practice, by the way.
The Practice, yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of The
one.
Practice, yeah.
Again, that was another at this point in time, we had a number of weird legal procedural dramas that
Yeah,
like
she
had
was
taken
also in
over.
Ally McBeal, which is
Ally
also
McBeal.
one of those.
Yes. And they had the legal ones seem to have taken over for the medical ones that we had for quite some time. But yeah, it was a very specific consequence of that particular time frame. So next up, just calling out some folks, we've got Craig Rhea, something like that, as Jim. I don't actually, I'm not 100% sure who Jim is. Oh no, wait, that's his buddy who tries to get him the job.
Yeah,
In the
at the
beginning, he was
beginning,
in Coyote, Under the Hula Moon, The Young Riders, and Desperado.
I love Desperado.
Yeah, you and my dad. Next up, we have J.T. Walsh as Wayne. He was in Sling Blade, A Few Good Men, Needful Things, Breakdown, Nixon. The man's been around, and you'd probably recognize him, but not put the name to the face.
My pick out for him was, as soon as I saw him, I was like, that's the guy that runs the diner in Pleasantville.
Oh shit.
Yep.
Yeah, he's the guy that fucks Tobey Maguire's mom, like fake mom in that.
I can see why that would stand out. Next up, we have Dale Gibson as Kurt. I like these kinds of entries because it's a weird one. It's one of the things I like that when it pops up in housekeeping. Dale Gibson is almost exclusively a stunt guy. He was in the Hugh Jackman X-Men movies. He was in The Mask of Zorro. He was in Hostage, all stunt shit.
I love when a stunt guy gets like work.
Yeah, totally.
Hell yeah. So next up, we have Timothy Carhart as Deputy Greytack. Timothy Carhart was in Thelma and Louise, The Hunt for Red October, Beverly Hills Cop 3, Ghostbusters, the original one. That was a comedy. I don't know what they're doing with Ghostbusters
I don't
these
know
days.
why they keep taking the jokes out of Ghostbusters, a movie where Dan Aykroyd gets a blowy from a ghost.
It's so weird. I have no idea how it evolved to this point.
I have not seen a Ghostbusters.
They did the Ghostbusters for her, and that was so packed with jokes that I think that they did a course correction in the opposite direction and went way too serious.
Wait, there was another Ghostbusters after the fucking Girl Boss one?
Yeah, there was the Stranger Things kids one, right?
And Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that Paul Rudd is supposed to be like Harold Ramis's like Egon's son or some shit.
Oh, I this is off my radar.
It's fucking awful. I liked the Girl Boss Ghostbusters more because it was actually kind of funny sometimes.
I'm exhausted by soulless cash grabs.
Yeah, same.
Like, if you're not even putting any effort into it, I don't know what to do. I really don't.
I'm kind of done with both Marvel movies and remakes. If it's a remake, like I'm not going to go see a remake. I'm done.
Here's the thing. I don't understand how they're fucking up so bad. Our generation, and I'm flat out, I'm calling it right now. We've been like this for a while, and it is only going to get worse. All we want is nostalgia because the adulthood for our generation and the younger generations is fucking bleak. So anything that reminds us of when we were kids and still had hopes and dreams and stuff, we are willing to pay almost all of our disposable income for. And that is really what laid the groundwork for the situation we find ourselves in, where they're not even fucking trying anymore. They're like, here, just eat the slop. You recognize this person, point at the screen and go, oh. Yeah, it's gotten bad.
See, for me, I don't seek nostalgia. I seek the feeling that I had as a child discovering the wonder of cinema. Which is why I watch micro-budget bullshit like The Necrophiles, where a zombie has a rock-hard 2-foot dick.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, that's just normal stuff.
And a demonic baby is literally just a baby doll on a fishing wire that they keep flinging around the screen because they had no budget.
I don't know. I like the weird nostalgia of like the really strange shit that was on that I saw as a kid that I probably shouldn't have, just because in the heyday of cable television, real wild shit was happening. But even that's
the magic of cinema. Yeah.
Like the fucking the Guyver movies.
Oh,
was a big
those are
sci-fi channel.
Wild, yeah.
Buff as a kid, and that was it was basically the Karate Kid meets the goriest version of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
The
I actually started with the fucking anime of that back when Blockbuster used to rent out anime, and the first cassette of that was not that gory. But by like episode 5, dudes' heads are fucking exploding all over the place, and my mom was like, "No more Japanese cartoons for you for a while."
Dude, when I first saw the first live action Guyver movie, I didn't know what anime was at that age. That's how early I fucking saw it. Anime was not something I was aware of existing. I just saw a karate guy. And then he falls and hits his head on an alien rock that like embeds itself in the back of his skull. And then he's cutting his way out of the stomach of monsters. It was amazing.
And they tried to push it as Mark Hamill being the lead of that movie, which was very not true.
Yeah, I gotta dig those back up.
Yeah, they're worth a rewatch. The second one gets really trashy.
I do like it trashy.
This is all the ridiculous shit that the Sci-Fi Channel got licensed to play back when I was a kid.
Did you ever catch Freaked? I know Sci-Fi Channel is how I saw Freaked.
Maybe. It sounds familiar.
It's like Alex Winter, so Ted from Bill and Ted. He plays like a former child star he's like being paid by this company that's the Everything But Shoes Corporation. They sell everything but shoes. He's supposed to be the spokesperson for this like toxic sludge or some shit. And he ends up going to a freak show and getting turned into a freak.
No, I haven't seen this.
And this sounds familiar.
Is Mr. fucking T in this?
Mr. T is in some of it, and then they had to get a Mr. T impersonator to finish his scenes because he walked off set.
Oh my god, this looks fucking bonkers.
Yeah,
it's got crazy Randy Quaid in it.
It's got crazy Randy Quaid. It's got Bobcat Goldthwait.
I'll watch anything with crazy Randy Quaid in it.
Yeah, Bobcat Goldthwait plays a sock puppet.
Wait, was Brooke Shields just starting out or slumming?
She was slumming. She was slumming hard. Fucking Keanu Reeves is uncredited as Dog Boy, who is like a major character in it.
All right, so I'm
you got to
saving
watch
this
Freaks.
shit.
Yeah.
Also, to drag us back around, Freak came out same year as this movie.
Oh hell yeah! I mean, Freaked had a soundtrack by Henry Rollins. This did not.
Oh god, did now you just described the coolest '90s movie I've never seen.
It's so fucking cool, but like the rights to it are in some kind of weird legal limbo, so you can't get a nice copy of it anymore.
I'm gonna have you help me figure that.
Yeah, I will send you my copy of it.
All right. So to wrap us up real quick, we have Dan Shore as Deputy Bowman, who was in Tron, Air Force One, and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And Ryan, since I shamefully did not include him prior to us starting this up, do your shout out, and I will be appropriately chastised.
Country music royalty Dwight Yoakam as the truck driver. You may know this man from the Jason Statham films Crank and Crank 2 High Voltage, as well as a handful of other movies. He's been in a shit ton of stuff.
He was in Sling Blade as well, and he was in Wedding Crashers.
Yep.
All right. That is going to wrap up housekeeping for us. And you know what that means? It's time for some ads. I don't want to do this. I'm begging you not to make me do this. Just give us $1. $1.
This is such a thing that just keeps happening. We're like, remember when housekeeping was like 8 minutes?
Yeah.
No. Do you remember those days?
I don't. I gotta go back. I gotta listen to the back catalog, man. I don't remember that.
It was before you guys started letting me off the leash.
That's fair.
Yeah, we used to be able to knock these out, and like we used to get through like a good like 15 minutes of movie before the first ad break.
Yeah, no, the bands have been upgraded. I'm sorry, we're growing more powerful.
Yeah.
But yeah, so listen to these ads or give us $1 once a month.
Yeah, $1 at patreon.com/Nic Cage Fight. And if you're Nic Cage, give us $500. Let us know that you care.
We would love $500.
The things we could do with that.
But only if you're Nic Cage.
Buy
groceries,
1,000 Jack in the Box 2 for $1 tacos.
Keep the lights on. Stuff like that. Anyway, listen to these ads.
All right, thanks. I'm assuming all of you has given us $1 now, so thank you in advance.
I would too. I've heard these ads; they're dog shit.
Yeah, no, they're
sponsor us, by the way.
Horrible.
If you want your ads to run on here, sponsor us. We'll do ad reads. We'll do it way better than your shitty commercials that get added algorithmically.
They sound worse than the commercials I was making for college radio, like when I was in radio club.
There's no heart in your advertising anymore. Put it in our hands.
We'll make people buy your shit.
And we'll do some fun goofs.
Yeah.
You'll love
Threaten, cajole.
Yeah, I mean,
we're not afraid to get dirty about making people buy your goods.
We convinced a decent amount of people to listen to a podcast about Nic Cage.
There are literally dozens of us.
More than I thought we're going to listen to a podcast solely about one actor who is known for just being absolutely insane.
Oh, yeah. No. I agree. I wake sometimes in a cold sweat thinking after we've gone through the whole filmography, for some reason this blows up, and then we're going to have to come out of retirement.
Well, I mean, he keeps fucking making more of them. He's got like 4 more movies on the horizon.
Yeah, but
he's got more than that.
Is when we do eventually catch up, we're going to have to, first of all, they're all going to be theater watches, and we're going to have to reconvene like once every 4 to 6 months.
No. It's like once every 4 to 6 weeks at this point.
I just want to let you guys know. We saw Renfield in April?
Yeah, it sounds right.
Since then, we had The Flash, Sympathy for the Devil, Retirement Plan, Dream Scenario. Those are all out that we can watch now.
Dream Scenario came out like this week.
Then we have Long Legs, Arcadian, and The Surfer, which has been announced. No, we will be doing this podcast until one of us dies.
Butcher's Crossing, which hasn't gotten its official theatrical release. It was just released in film festivals previously.
Oh, okay.
So we got to watch that one whenever it hits theaters too.
So we'll get every other week off once we do catch up.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm hoping I can figure out a way to loophole us out of The Flash, because that movie was dog shit. Although, then again, trashing that for a couple of hours would maybe
really be cathartic.
Yeah, I saw read an interview with Cage where he was like, I'm super not cool with what they did with my face.
That is exactly. I read the same interview and I was like, oh, he hates it. We shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And that's why Nic Cage is better than most people.
Yep.
All right, so let's get into the plot of this. I went into this expecting sort of maybe like a dark comedy, but it's actually played relatively straight. And so in the intro, we're introduced to our main character, Michael, in a pretty horny way. So Michael is parked along the side of a very deserted stretch of road that we see is in Wyoming. And he is shirtless, shoeless, and sockless. If you're one of those foot freaks, you're going to want to check out the first scene of this movie.
Oh, it's a Tarantino flick. I didn't realize
Tarantino,
that.
Yeah. And Nic Cage is shirtless. He's shaving by the side of the road. He does a couple of one-armed push-ups. Pretty.
I don't know how he does that with the cowboy boots on. I was legitimately impressed.
There's no grip on asphalt. I have no idea. They had to fix that in post or something. I'm not sure.
Fucking glued him there.
Yeah.
So shirtless Cage in this, I feel it necessary to fully immerse you, listener, in it. He's not boy in blue ripped, but it is still definitely a horny shot panning across his bare upper body. Still relatively fit, but he was kind of ripped in boy in blue.
Yeah, he was. Dude, he was shredded like cheese in that.
It's so crazy. I don't even know why they did that for that kind of movie. Anyway, so he gets dressed in like a real Texan style button down shirt, and examines his reflection in the vehicle like window and polish, and then heads off to an oil rig site. He's there to apply. Oh, I'm sorry. One other key detail: in part of his getting ready routine, he puts on a knee brace, like a CVS slip-on knee brace.
Right, not like one you get from a doctor.
Yeah, not like the Forrest Gump leg braces.
Yeah.
So Michael has a friend that works at this rig named Jim, who told him about it, and Michael goes in to apply. After submitting his application and a brief interview, we assume it's done off screen, he's listening outside the trailer, and he hears the boss going off, I can't hire this guy. He's got a leg injury. If he gets hurt, I'll lose my insurance. And, Michael knows he's not getting this job. He gets back in his car. Jim comes out and apologizes to him, offers him some cash to hold him over, which Michael turns down. This is a great setup for how the character goes on here, because like I said, this movie plays pretty straight. So it's clearly Michael's values and perspective on things play a huge part in how the plot plays out. So him refusing that money is kind of important.
Yeah, he seems like a pretty honest, straightforward guy from the jump. And that's reestablished multiple times before anything even really happens in the movie.
In fact, we get to the very next time they really jam this down your throat, which again is important just because of how the movie goes. So as Michael is leaving the oil rig, he realizes he's low on gas. This is also a recurring theme. And so he pulls into a derelict gas station and looks in his wallet and sees his only remaining cash is $5. $5 bill.
I think the recurring thing about the low gas is just because out in the West, everything's so fucking far away from everything else.
That's kind of what I got out of that.
If you're throughout the course of the film, this is a problem that occurs several times.
Yeah.
So he goes into the gas station and there doesn't appear to be anybody in there. So he calls out, walks around, and he notices an open and unattended cash box with a couple of 20s sitting in it. He looks at it and then walks on. He's going to leave when an old dude comes out and is like, "Oh, hey." The old dude even pointedly looks at the cash box with all of the cash, undisturbed or untouched, and proceeds to give Michael $5 worth of gas out at the pump. He suggests that Mike go seek some work in this town called Red Rock.
Yeah, he said that they were looking for rig crews there or something.
Yeah. He says he wants to be a roughneck.
Yep.
Okay.
So Michael pulls into Red Rock and stops at a bar. Inside, we see the bartender who is looking pointedly at the Texas license plate on Michael's car before he comes inside and orders a coffee. So the conversation between Michael and the bartender starts off odd. He's like, "What are you doing here now? I expected you here last Friday." Michael, being now completely out of money, kind of goes along with the conversation. I'm not going to lie. There were clear motivations for Michael, but I might have done that just because I was bored in an empty bar with a bartender after a shitty day.
And this is where I thought we were going down a Coen brother rabbit hole, by the way. This is kind of where it started.
I mean, it's the kind of setup that you would get in a Coen movie, a little mistaken identity, someone not knowing what they're getting into.
It's almost the exact plot of The Big Lebowski.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the premise itself is what made me think is too many Coen brother movie watches. When I read the premise, I was like, "Oh shit, I know how this is gonna go." I did not.
No.
Now, honestly, with a couple of plot changes, you could probably run this on Lifetime. It's that kind of a pop boiler thriller.
Yeah, I agree. So the bartender, whose name is Wayne, seems to think that Mike is this person named Lyle from Dallas. And so Wayne invites Michael into the back office to talk business. So when they get back there, Wayne puts $5,000 in cash in front of Mike and tells him he'll get the other 5 after the job is done, and then hands him a picture frame. So he goes on to say, it's Tuesday, so she'll be out riding most of the day, and I think it's best if you make it look like a robbery that kind of goes wrong. Mess the place up, but not too much, but enough.
Because I still got to live there and shit.
Yeah. And so as when the camera pans around, we see it, the picture is of a woman, and when Mike asks who she is, Wayne explains that it's his wife. So
he doesn't say my wife, though.
No,
so
he does not say
0 out of 10.
Yeah.
My wife.
My
wife.
Which, by the way, since getting married, that's the only way I say that, and it
Yeah.
infuriates
Correct to
infuriates my
do.
wife so much. So, also, I said my wife normally right there because when she listens to this, it's gonna piss her off even more. I said it normal in a recording. So
Oh, so with your friends, you say my wife, but to me, it's my
yep,
wife.
yep, absolutely. So, presumably Michael agrees to this with Wayne. Also, by the way, if you're in over your head in that situation, nod, take the money, and he does try to play this in the most not just normal, but morally upstanding way you possibly could. I can't say I would have done that well, personally, because I would have gotten away immediately from the person crazy enough to hire a fucking hitman and just booked it. That would have been the end of the story for me. But back in his car, we see that Mike does have a handgun in his glove box.
Smart.
And he's from Texas. I'm assuming in Texas they sell cars with a handgun in the glove box already.
That's a standard add-on.
Yeah. I didn't even think it was
It's
an
just like
add-on.
it's like the
go in
weatherproofing.
there for a pre-owned Cadillac, and they're like, "Is there a handgun in that glove box?" Oh yeah, it's the one the car came with. We don't take trade-ins if you lost the handgun.
It's like losing the keys. You have to get a whole new one forged.
Yeah. It belonged to an 80-year-old, so there's like a little lanyard cord connected to it, so you can just use it from inside the car. You can't take it out of there. So Mike takes the car and up on this like little ridge or hill or something, gets out of it with binoculars, and sights down them to spy Suzanne, Wayne's wife, the target of this hit contract, person to be whacked. And she is in fact riding horses like Wayne said she would be. And then she goes into a trailer with a particularly muscular looking stagehand. I'm not
stable
boy.
Stable hand.
No. When they're hot, it's a stable boy.
It's a stable boy.
Okay.
Yeah. Just like doesn't matter how old you are, you can always be a pool boy if you're hot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So now I'm thinking, oh, okay, all right. This marital kill contract is predicated by an affair. All right, I can wrap my head around that.
Pretty standard film noir fare.
Yeah.
It's they're not reinventing the wheel yet.
Yeah, it's like 2 steps off from just being double indemnity.
Also, by the way, Ryan, you just fucking if we broadened our mission statement here, film noir fare would 100% be the name of that podcast.
Hell yeah.
So
yeah, that fucking rules.
Yeah, you didn't even intend to, but as soon as you said it, I was like, film noir fare? Squirt cage fight podcast. Yeah. I love combining films and combat. So Suzanne gets home and goes inside her house and pours herself a drink. And like any good film of this nature, Mike is sitting in a chair, like in the darkened part of the room already when she comes in. It takes her a minute to notice that he's there.
The interplay of light and dark is a standard thing in film noir as well. I'm just going to keep talking about film noir for this.
Well, yeah, but normally the guy in the chair, when you notice him, it's because he's lighting a cigarette.
Yeah, and he slowly spins the chair around.
Well, you know what, Dame?
I can't remember.
Check out the gams on her. He does. I don't think he lights a cigarette in this scene.
Yeah,
he does smoke in this.
She had long legs connected all the way down to her feet.
He does have his handgun in his hand ready to rock, which was probably more intimidating of a message than he was technically going for. But essentially, he explains that Wayne is trying to have her killed, shows her the stack of cash and the house key that he was given as proof, and Suzanne in turn offers Mike a drink. And he then says, and I love when a movie does this, he says exactly what I was thinking at the time, which was, oh shit, she's taking this pretty well. Mike's like, you seem to be taking this pretty well. It's like, I was just thinking that.
Yeah, he does it about once a year, just tries to kill me,
Yeah. And so Mike explains or no, I'm sorry. Mike tells her that his name is Lyle, keeping up this mistaken identity situation that he seems himself caught up in. Suzanne suggests a counteroffer and asks Mike to take care of Wayne for her instead. Flipping the assassin on the dude who hired the assassin to take you out is a pretty ballsy move. But Mike gets back into his car with his gun and 2 stacks of hundreds now. Looks like he got $5,000 from both of them. And then he goes to another gas station and buys.
Oh, this cracks me the fuck up, though. This is the funniest moment.
Perfect.
Like a child getting ready for a road trip.
Not even if I was down to my last $5 and didn't know what I was going to do, and I suddenly found myself with $10,000 in the middle of fucking nowhere, Wyoming, I would do this exact thing, which is he gets a full tank of gas and just a shitload of snacks and beer, like Slim Jims and a couple of 6-packs.
Like 4 fucking paper bags full of it.
Yeah, and he just has a candy bar in his mouth the whole time.
Yeah. And
he's a hungry boy.
The cashier rings him up. And by the way, this was so funny to me. I had to write down the exact amount that it came to. It was $119.78 at a gas station in Wyoming
1993.
in 1993. That's like $250 worth of shit.
From like 7-Eleven, yeah.
More probably. But yeah, no. Respect for that move. Would have done the same fucking thing. No notes.
And then there's a nice little line too. It's do you have anything smaller? Not right now.
Yeah. Yeah, not right now. So back in his car, Mike writes a letter addressed to the sheriff of Red Rock explaining everything. By the way, this guy in your town, Wayne, hired me to kill his wife. I went and told his wife. His wife hired me to kill him. It seems like these two are liable to hurt themselves or others unless something is done about this. Best of luck, Mike.
Nice.
And drops the letter in a post box before leaving town.
It's such an incredibly perfect move for him with his the established character traits that he has so far. Like, no one else in the history of cinema would write a letter to the sheriff before leaving town after getting double hired for 2 assassinations.
It legitimately is, and it's funny because of how much of a plot point it becomes later in the film.
Yeah.
He does the best thing you could do. First of all, he won't steal from an empty cash box in the middle of nowhere from some guy who's just trying to run a fucking business. He will take money from 2 awful people who are willing to hire somebody to murder each other.
Yeah.
And then will also try his best to make sure nobody gets hurt while extricating himself from the situation. Phenomenal work.
Yeah. The characterization in this is really good. Especially once we get to Dennis Hopper as his moral foil.
Yes, 100%. So, meanwhile, Wayne calls his house and Suzanne answers. Wayne doesn't say anything, but now he's clued into the fact that the hit has not gone down. Mike is driving along and it's raining. He sees a car stopped on the side of the road. And while he's looking at that, he totally misses the guy that runs out from behind this car into the road trying to flag him down and just mashes the guy.
You know what else he misses, though?
What was that?
You know what else he misses, though?
Is it
the ad break?
Is it have all of our listeners not given us $1 a month yet?
No, not yet. There's
no, we can't stop until there's nobody left who hasn't given us $1.
God damn it. I really didn't want to do this. This is ruining my day. But
are you saying that they made us do this to them?
They did.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I love you, baby. I don't want to do this. Don't make me do this.
That's why we can't have nice things.
This is what Big Daddy capitalism does to a man. Makes him beg for dollars while talking about Nic Cage movies.
And if you don't do it, we have to make you listen to BYU ads or something trying to beg you to become a fucking ICE agent. Don't do any of that shit. I don't want you
gold
to hear
ads.
Or
gold
gold
ads.
ads indeed.
Well, that being said, I mean, gold might be a good idea. I don't know. I'm not a financial advisor, but the rest of it is dog shit, man.
That gold's an awful idea.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, silver retains its value better than gold, from what I understand.
None of it retains value.
None
We
of it
just
retains value.
decided
Yeah.
if the world were to end, all these preppers would just have shiny fucking coins. It doesn't matter.
All right, wait. Real quick. That being said, you guys are ignoring the 3Gs, the classic 3Gs of investment, which is gold, guitars, and guns.
Oh, I
They
thought it
tend-
was G Unit, the Gorillas, and the film Grand Isle.
They but no, like the goofball thing is gold, guns, and guitars tend to go up in value over time.
Oh, well then.
Yeah, this is not an investment podcast. If you listen to us and spend your money based on that, you're stupid. Unless you're just giving us $1 a month, $12 a year. God, that would probably be the best spent money.
Yeah,
that you'll get in this year. More likely next year. Things are getting worse, people. purchase something you can count on. 3 dudes rambling about fucking Nic Cage movie. That you can take to the fucking bank. Listen to it in your car. Anyway, here's BYU or something. And
Man, I cannot wait to continue my education at an unaccredited university in Utah.
Didn't we find out that they did get accreditation, and that was one of the bleakest days of our lives?
Yeah, they did get accreditation, which, I mean, whatever. College is dumb. Children, don't go to it. You don't need it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm in agreement. But in some cases, you need that goofy piece of paper that you paid a lot of money for to do the thing that you think you want to do.
But it turns out no one's hiring for that thing, so
yeah, if it's something fun or cool,
no. Like if you want to be an astronaut, like again, it's not going to be a college education. You got to go to the Air Force to do that shit.
Yeah.
And also not for nothing. 9 out of 10 of your top choices of things that you want to do in your life, your first step is to look at the family you were born into. And that is going to cut you out of the possibility of doing that thing most of the time. I'm so sorry. I hope no young people listen to this podcast.
I hope they do. Let's crush those dreams early.
In fairness, we are doing a podcast about a Nepo baby.
Yeah.
Case in point, we know what we're fucking talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mike pancakes this guy, and as a chronic do the right thinger, instead of just going, "Oh, buddy, in this area, in the middle of fucking nowhere, would ever know that I did this hit and run." He gets out, checks the guy. The guy is alive. Mike puts him in the car, turns right back around, takes him right back into Red Rock, directly to a hospital. So the doctor tells Mike not to go anywhere. He's going to have some questions for him because Mike straight up says, he came out of nowhere, but I hit him with my fucking car. So Mike does try and slip out when the nurse leaves her station, but the doctor has finished, I guess, with the patient up to this point, comes out and catches Mike right before he leaves. He's like, I was just going to move my car. I'm in a red zone. I figured I'd move it since I'm going to be here a while. And then right at this point in time, 2 deputies come in the front of the hospital, which is where the doctor drops on us the information that the man that Mike hit with his car was shot 2 times in the stomach prior to the car accident.
Which is weird because, like, I was like, how? Because when the whole thing happens, he's like waving his hands in front of the car. Like, him being shot doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but whatever, I'll go with it.
That's not even what was throwing me. We saw this guy at the ranch moments ago, and yeah, it's gotten dark by now, but I'm assuming that all Nic Cage has done has been go to that gas station and then try to leave town. I don't think that's enough time for that to have gone down. And I'm still not 100% sure who it was that shot him.
Oh, they clearly explain that at the very end of the film.
Do they? Okay. All right. I must have missed that because I was confused as to how either of the possible people who were going to shoot this man could have actually done it.
So, you might still be right about the timing, although it's daylight at one point. Like, it's from at least midday till after sunset.
Yeah.
All that being said, Mike is now in a bit of a situation. So he's detained at the hospital, and the deputies are like, we're gonna call the sheriff. So the sheriff rolls up as Mike is waiting with the deputies, and oh shit, we have a little issue. Because the sheriff is Wayne.
Good
Wayne's
reveal. He's got the big cowboy hat and he's looking down and he slowly looks up and then you realize, oh shit, it's that guy.
Yeah, I think I audibly said like, oh shit.
Yep.
That guy.
Town bartender / sheriff. Classic double job. Although, by the way, like I make a point of not particularly frequenting cop bars, but in a tiny town where the sheriff owns the only bar, or the sheriff owns a bar, that's the bar I'm drinking at, because that is a person who is financially motivated not to pull me over and give me a DUI.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Fair.
So yeah, this is a bit of a problem. Wayne explains that they're going to take Mike down to the station, and one of the deputies actually does stop him. He's like, wait, are we really going to hold this guy for this? And Wayne's like, yeah, what do you mean? He's like, why would the guy shoot this dude twice, then bring him to the hospital and say he hit him with his car? That doesn't make any fucking sense. And points to you, deputy, for applying logic to crime solving.
He is kind of deputy smart guy.
It must also be his first several days on the job, because in my experience, that is not the qualities that lead you to a long and illustrious career in law enforcement. So, Wayne insists, which he does do it in a kind of clever way, because he's like, this guy's from Texas, we're in Wyoming. Should anything change, it would be so easy to get, a hold of him to answer some questions. Which is a fair enough point, I guess. It certainly gets past the deputy's bullshit detector. And so Mike is put in Wayne's car, and they head to the station. So Wayne's like, all right, you got to fucking talk. What happened? What is going on? And who else fucking knows about any of this? And Mike is like, look, nobody knows. I didn't tell anybody. Why don't, for both of our sakes, you just let me out, we go our separate ways, and neither of us have to think about this again. At that suggestion, Wayne veers wildly off the road, smashes through a little wooden fence, and then comes to a stop. And then takes the handcuff key and puts it on the dash in front of Mike.
Trying to establish a struggle so that when he puts them down, it's justified. So
here's the thing. I didn't even get I would have died in that vehicle.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
Yeah, because I was like, okay, so maybe, Wayne was having a bit of an internal struggle about this. Maybe he's conflicted, but he's decided to let me go.
No, it's the pulling off road and
100%.
crashing through a couple of some structures out there that definitely pinned that down as Wayne is trying to
painting
establish
a
scene. He's trying to make it seem like Cage went for the steering wheel, went for the key. So when he goes for his gun, it's completely justified.
Yeah. So, So Mike intelligently notices.
Oh no, dogs.
Sorry. My dog is eating the wife's slipper, so I had to stop that. Anyway, So Mike does sense something amiss with this. So he takes the key and turns like he's going to unlock his handcuffs, but when Wayne goes to reach for his revolver, Mike kicks him full in the face. and then dumps out of the door, still handcuffed. Manages to get himself unlocked. Manages to slam the door on Wayne's arm, holding the revolver when Wayne tries to shoot him again. Scoops up the dropped revolver and runs off into the woods. Solid play.
Yeah, smart. Like no notes. She did a good job.
Yep. So there is a bit of a chase through the woods. Wayne retrieves a rifle from the back of the vehicle, and him and Mike exchange some fire at each other. Unfortunately, Mike's injury with his knee brace, he takes a tumble, then he takes another tumble, a worse one.
It is a comically long tumble. It's like that scene in Hot Rod where Rod falls down the mountain.
Or Princess Bride.
Yes.
Yeah, so Mike loses the revolver, tumbles all the way down this hill and into the road where he almost gets pancaked in turn by another vehicle. The car stops just in time. And out of this vehicle steps a very Texas-dressed Dennis Hopper.
I knew it was Lyle from Dallas before he even introduced himself, just based on the garb. So interesting backstory on this. Apparently, the one of the production designers that was in dealing with like wardrobe and stuff bought all of these fucking Western clothes for Dennis Hopper to try on, and he zeroed in on that black suit immediately. They were stoked about that shit because they could get 10 of those for $170.
Nice. I want one of those for $170.
Yeah.
So Dennis Hopper, the real Lyle from Dallas, gets out of the car and does a bit of shouting at Mike, saying, if he didn't just get his brakes replaced, he would have had to be picking bits of skull out of his radiator grill. And then Mike asks him for a ride to his vehicle, which broke down just past the ridge.
Yeah. Now, there's something that I thought was like kind of fun here. So as they're talking in his car, do either one of you know the song that's playing?
Oh, it's a Johnny Cash song, right?
But it's not done like yes and no.
It was written by Johnny Cash.
I'm gonna play you the song that it was. But here's the thing, because I have to screen share and I want you guys to be shocked. I want you to minimize Zoom for me.
All right. My Zoom is small.
And let me know when that's done.
All right, fine.
It's like Folsom
closing
Prison
my
Blues,
digital
right?
eyes here.
Thank you. Yes, that's all I'm asking for, because I have to screen share. I have to share sound. So this was a song that was playing. If you're ready for it, okay?
I'm ready for it.
All right.
It was also the night that the skeletons came to life. They came from under the ground. All over the fields. Grabbed the preacher's daughter. He maimed the.
All right, sorry, that was the bit. Had to do it.
Okay, that's fair. That's totally fair.
I'm always down for an I think you should leave bit.
I heard. I knew it was Johnny Cash, but it was literally the song that they were parroting.
Yeah.
That the fucking the day Robert Palance murdered me.
Yes.
So the whole time it's going on, I'm just going, the bones are their money. So are the worms.
I'm not gonna lie, because you two are bigger music heads than I am. I did not expect that. I thought this was like a you and Ryan thing. And I was
expecting it to be like an interesting cover of Folsom Prison Blues, because I didn't clock it as anything other than Johnny.
Yeah, no, it was 100% Johnny.
It was Johnny,
Cash, but I had to keep the con up.
No, that's fair. Yeah,
I'm just like, no, you're
choked
wrong.
on my PBR, man. I'm not gonna lie.
I clocked that, and I immediately before we record, I have to YouTube.
You got to pull that up. Yeah,
I have to put it on exactly the part where I need it to be on.
Hopefully, we don't get copyright struck for that from Tim Robinson.
It was short enough to be fair use. What was the name of the characters in this? It was like, wait, I was interested in what Bill was saying. You mean him, Bill, or me, Bill?
Your name's Bill too?
Bill too? No, that's why I'm so fucking confused. But yeah, so Lyle does agree to give Michael a ride, and Wayne retrieves his revolver from where Michael dropped it and sees him getting into this car with some unknown person and driving off. He's not happy about this fact. So I don't know. Do you guys think that? I feel like that's a pretty good cliffhanger for where
I think
things
that's a good
go.
cliffhanger.
Yeah, I got to do my bit. Like I'm good with this being the cliffhanger.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I forgot you mentioned you were going to do a bit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Love a bit.
It worked out very well. You got me on that one. I'm not gonna lie.
You gave me a giggle.
So yeah, so that's the first part of Red Rock West, which was an entertaining movie. And I gotta admit, at this point in the movie, I was pretty invested. I was like, all right, there's some shit going on. I got some theories and ideas. Let's see how this plays out.
I'm just happy that Dennis Hopper is here.
Well, no, and at this point too, because I'm just like, wait, Dennis Hopper always plays the villain, but he seems to be a pretty cool dude right now. What's going to happen?
Yeah, things happen. So join us next time for when we close out Red Rock West. In the meantime, if the wait is just too unbearable for you, we have an extensive back catalog, and also you can find us on social media.
Actually, Twitter. You know what? Go back and listen to the Zandali episode, everyone. I listened to that just, for fun, and that's a fucking funny episode.
You just like audio smut, is what you like.
Yeah. We spent a really long time talking about the shadow of Nic Cage's hog, though.
We really diagnosed it. We freeze framed that shit.
Yeah.
It's a Nic Cage podcast. Of course we were going to diagnose the fucking dick shadow. We're going to dissect that thing down to the atom.
Yeah, so that's my recommendation for your backlog listening pleasure worth.
Also, Zandali is another good one for people who have never heard of it or definitely never going to watch it, at least until they hear us describe and they're like, I got to fucking check this out.
I've got fucking eBay alerts for the next time the German Laserdisc release of fucking Zandali pops up on eBay. I am buying that and a Laserdisc player because that's the only way you can watch the uncut version without, piracy.
I was going to say, do you have a region unlocked Laserdisc player?
Laserdiscs are not region locked.
Really?
Yeah, DVDs were the first disc-based media that was region locked. That's why a lot of Laserdisc collectors collect a shit ton of anime, because a lot of anime was released on Laserdisc in Japan.
Huh. That makes sense.
Yep.
Shit, the more you know. Who said this podcast wasn't educational? Oh, I want to have some words with them.
My mom did, probably.
Your mom's wrong.
That's actually wrong. Devastating news. Take your mom's opinion very seriously. All right, so you can find us on Twitter at cagefight_pod while that Titanic is still refusing to fully go underneath the water.
Oh, it's getting more broken every day. I pop in just to see what features have disappeared today.
I don't know the last time I was on Twitter, or X or whatever.
The new thing is Elon made an AI that you can only access if you're paying $16 a month for Twitter. And the AI just talks about how cool Elon is.
Yeah.
That is.
I think he also pitched one of the features of paying for Twitter is that you can download videos. Man, you are living in the past. I've been able to do that for fucking 10 years now.
Yeah, no, the AI thing has real I made a sock puppet to be my best friend vibes, which is horrifying.
The ventriloquist that has a ventriloquist doll. It's just a small version of themselves.
Yeah, no, I honestly, I think Musk might be the most catastrophically divorced man in the history of divorced men. Yeah. It's crazy. He's like patient zero.
He's more divorced than fucking version. Henry VIII.
Yeah. I mean, he's got
that's one for the history nerds.
Yeah, he's got some stiff competition, but I think he's got the fucking crown. I think it's the only crown he gets, but god damn.
Heavy as the head.
Yeah, he seems fucking committed to the bit. So hats off, I guess. If you for some reason think we are Nic Cage or you're a drunk uncle, check us out on Facebook.
So we've qualified drunk now. Yeah, you can't just be an uncle. You have to be like 3 beers in and an uncle.
A sober uncle?
No.
Yeah. So yeah, drunk uncle. I feel like that should also weed out some of like the weirder uncles. Although drunk is casting a wide net for uncles. Either way, we're not going to get normal folks, I think, on the Facebooks. But go ahead, check us out. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Lisa will give me Facebook messages to peek at when I'm miserable at work. But
if you'll make us happy at work, go to patreon.com/Nic Cage Fight and give us money. That will make us happy.
Yeah. $12 a year. And you don't have to listen to any of these bad ads.
That's it. That's all we're asking for.
Yep. That's it. It seems simple. Like I said, extensive back catalog. If you have a job where you primarily have somebody talking in your ear all day, why not us?
Yeah.
That's our pitch. It's a strong
why not
one.
us?
Yeah, why not? What is stopping you?
Give me 12 good reasons why it's not us.
Listen, we are smart and we deserve respect.
Yep.
I wouldn't even go that far. I'm just saying,
are the Fredos of podcasting.
We
did it.
Yeah, give us a shot. That's my suggestion. So yes, please join us next time. We will wrap up Red Rock West, which was entertaining. You're going to see how this one plays out. I bet you can't predict it.
It gets bonkers.
It does. It gets a little wild. So thank you, as always, for tuning in. And dear listeners, please remember, we appreciate you.